Good morning, everyone. This video is going to be unlike most of my videos, as I've been trying to gear my followers and even people that have just stumbled across me into a more enlightened state. And what is it to be in an enlightened state? As I hear this term woke. What is woke, right? So some people use this term and they use it so lightly. Woke. Well, maybe in your definition, the term woke is to not sleep on somebody, right? To never let anybody get over on you. But in all actuality, the term woke is to be alive, to be aligned, and to exist with everything in your alignment. Now, I'm going to teach you something that it's pretty simple to figure out within your own self, within your being, if you're living in your true aligned purpose. When you're living in your true aligned purpose, you will notice a different feeling, a different sense of satisfaction. Your gut, and it comes so deep within your gut, it's almost bliss, if one must. To be aligned means that you're doing everything in your spiritual journey and on your everyday life purpose path that is in alignment with you. Now, how do we actually get into that alignment? Well, we start out by recognizing the things that don't feel good. Okay, so let's recognize that. When it feels good, when you're doing something that is aligned with you, it feels amazing. It feels blissful. It's like reuniting with an old friend. That amazing feeling of, oh my God, this feels so good. I missed you. Yes, you missed that feeling of that person who helps to align you. That's why they're such good friends, right? So let's use that simple contents and that hypothetical as what it would feel like to be in alignment. And now let's use another hypothetical as to what it feels like to not live in alignment with yourself. When you're not living in alignment with yourself, chances are you're struggling with anxiety. And the idea, just the simple idea of doing the things that you have to do that are in your daily life that you have put in place, as whether it's your career, your purpose, your children, your husband, your leisure time, your responsibilities. If it's giving you fear and it's sending out a signal of, I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right. I was made for more than this. I know that a lot of people literally say to themselves, like, I was made for more than this. You're right. You were made for more than that. And if you're living just the bare minimum in the sense of what you do in your life, one of the best things that you can do to help get yourself back on alignment is find your passion. Something you're passionate about. Maybe you enjoy the arts, drawing, writing, reading, making things. It is so detrimental to your well-being to use your hands, not just for getting things done, but for creating. If you have an artistic side of you and you're not embracing that, chances are you're shying and you're dulling and you're dulling and you're dulling because you're suppressing. Because the kid in you loves to create and loves to make things. The kid in you has an imagination, but the adult in you doesn't allow your imagination to peak any longer because, well, you're just being too serious and too adult. And, well, you've decided that there's no time for those things, such as hobbies, music, things that make you happy. Why? Why have you decided that? Why have you decided that there's no time in your entire week for one thing that you like doing that's not for anybody else? Now, if you follow me, and if you've ever looked at any of my other videos, I do a lot, right? I started out as a soap page, a soap business, basically. But this page was created so I could show people the tutorials of me making soap. The idea of making something with my hands made me feel so alive. So when you're aligned with your higher self, with your true self, and your real purpose, you're going to feel alive. And you're going to love what you're doing. Because it serves you. And sometimes, and a lot of times, maybe it doesn't serve you financially, but it serves you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And overall, in turn, then physically. Because you're able to do more. Because you're aligned and you don't feel exhausted by what you're doing. So, one of the really simplest techniques that you could do for yourself when you have some free time is go back. Go back to the child in you, the young child who had an imagination. Maybe you were the type of child who could sit on the sand for hours by yourself. And you would be very content with just digging until you found a crab. Or maybe you were the type of child who was always surrounded with friends. And today you still surround yourself with friends. But you don't tell your friends what's really going on. You only tell your friends now the things you want them to hear. Because you're not a child anymore, and well, you feel that you're not supposed to have problems. You're supposed to be perfect. And that's the furthest from the truth. Your friends are there for your problems. So if you do have a large setting of friends, and you find that you're not sharing the most valuable things, the most important things, and you're only sharing superficial things, you're also not being honest to yourself. Nor are you being honest to the kid inside of you who's screaming to tell your best friend or whomever your secrets. But something stops you. Is it ego? Is it pride? Because they're kind of connected. Or is it the inability to let go of an image that you have created for yourself? See, when you came into this world, you didn't come into this world with an image. You came into this world as a baby, and the only thing you knew you wanted was to eat, right? And as we get older, our image changes. Our parents are a big part of that. How they treat us, what they do, what type of parents they are. So therefore, they form our image. But inside of that person, that little baby, the parents are molding and shaping just to the way that they want, is really you. And the real you kind of starts to slip away over time. I would say by the age of 6, you're, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but our parents have their hooks in us by the age of 6. So your personality is pretty much determined by the age of 6. What you're going to be like. So if you have a child who's beyond the age of 6, and you think that they're going to change, maybe into a few years, yeah, there will be parts about them that will change. But the personality, who they are, is already ingrained in stone. Unless they have a major epiphany. And this is something else I will touch on. Epiphanies can make you or break you. Now, a major epiphany will also help to enlighten you. Sometimes major epiphanies, though, don't come in the best form. A lot of times those major epiphanies come in darn painful forms. For instance, John. He had everything he wanted. You know, he had a nice house, he had a beautiful wife, he had kids. And he complained every day. He complained about his apartment, he complained about his life, he complained about his kids. He found something to complain about every day. Till John had a house fire. When John had that house fire, he realized that job that he was not taking a day off for because it was so important to him was no longer important. His kids that he hadn't spent enough time with were now the only thing that mattered, and their well-being. And him, all of his valuable possessions and the things that he thought made him who he was, all of those things that he had bought and purchased throughout the years, that he thought that those were things that they were going to help identify him with whom he was and his financial status in the world, were no longer important to him. See, the fire actually put the fire under his ass. And then he started living his life. And he decided, I want to get a career. You know, I'm not happy with this little job. I want more. And he got it. So sometimes when you have these epiphanies, they're not going to come in a good form. Sometimes they will. For instance, maybe you could go to somebody else's wedding. And you're at the wedding. And it's the most beautiful vows. They've written them. It's the most heartfelt wedding you have ever been to. If you've ever been to many or not, right? But this wedding really does something for you. It changes your whole outlook on, well, marriage, men, being in a relationship, being intimate. Everything that you thought you knew, you perceived to be, well, maybe you were opposed to marriage prior to. Maybe you didn't think that a woman should get married. You felt that maybe all of your dispositions and your opinions about marriage were completely the opposite until you went to the wedding. And it was the most beautiful, heartfelt, touching wedding. And you actually got to witness what it looks like, what it feels like. And yes, you do kind of feel the emotions in the back of a wedding. For these two people to love each other so much, and you witness their emotions, and you witness this time in place that they have made so memorable, emotional, and they've pulled out a piece of life, a piece of time. And that's what you're doing when you get married, when you have big events. You are literally saying, I am going to pull out time for this day to be recognized forever in history. Like a birthday. So when two people decide to get married, it is a very big thing. And maybe that's what the person needed in order to see that all of the things that she thought about being married and felt about being married, because she had been married and it wasn't a good marriage, but she had sworn off marriage, and now she has a different outlook, totally different perspective. So perspective, perception, your point of view, and are you being a positive person or a pessimist? It's going to be the make or break you. And it will change everything. Because if you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, I have to go to work, and I don't want to go, And it's going to be a horrible day. You've confirmed that. You just said it. You confirmed it. And so you're right. It is. But if you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, I'm blessed, it's another beautiful day. What a great day. I'm going to have a great day at work today. I can't wait to get that project completed today. Whatever it is, but that you have to say to yourself, it should be positive. Positive affirmations. You should constantly be telling yourself things that are going to enlighten you, heighten you, brighten you. So, I just had to park that car real quick. So I've been posting, I was making this video while I was sitting in front of my dad's house waiting for parking. Because I am giving myself to my dad right now. And I'm giving myself wholeheartedly. He's a sick man. He has pancreatic cancer. And he needs me for now. And I think as human beings, we always have to try to do the right thing. What is right? But again, going back to what feels right. So staying aligned. And so being aligned with myself, the feeling of taking care of my dad right now is where I'm aligned most. Being there for the man when he needs me most is really the most important thing I could be doing for my own healing journey and his. And that feels right. So when we talk about the money, I've sacrificed finances. Not everybody could be in this predicament where they could say, I'm not going to go to work. I'm going to just do what's right. You can get paid to take care of your parents, but I'm not able to do it because I'm missing something and I don't have time and he doesn't have time. So, I mean, it'll be forever before I see a paycheck, if I ever see a paycheck. And I'm not doing it to get paid. I'm doing it to be with my dad because I tried to go back to work and I felt so bad sitting at work, knowing that my dad was in a house with somebody that didn't care about him. So being aligned. If what feels right every day is not, and I'm not talking about like sitting home, watching, going through the TV, scrolling through, YouTube videos. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you find that what you're doing every day is not something that feels good, it doesn't lighten up your spirit. It doesn't make you feel alive. It doesn't make you feel like you're following your true passion and you don't feel like you're doing what you should be doing. If that's not the way you feel while doing what you're doing, then chances are you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. What would make you happy? What would serve you? And a lot of people underestimate their ability to make money doing what they're best at. For instance, if you're best at speaking on the phone, talking with people, dealing with people, then why do you have a job? And this is just a hypothetical. Why would you get yourself a job where you have to be almost quiet all day long and you're just pushing papers, but yet you do better in sales and you do better with the people because you like to be with people, or the opposite? What if you're on the phone all day long? You don't like to deal with people. You have a very bad attitude with people. Yet you're still doing it every day. Why have you not asked your boss, is there some way that we could switch positions once you've been there long enough? Listen, there are ways to be true to yourself. And there are companies that understand this, that sometimes we have a great candidate here, but I don't like the position that they're in. I feel like they would do better in, the other area of this company. And if a company likes you enough, they're not going to let you go. They want you to stay on board, and they want to make sure that you're doing work that is good for you, like conducive for you. So therefore it's conducive for the company. Therefore the company can make the most. And so with that being said, your time is very precious. And so you want to do the most with it. And so when you go to work, you want your work to be something that makes you happy, or at least you enjoy. And if you can enjoy your job, it's a lot easier to go home at the end of the day and then enjoy the process of taking care of your house. See, this is the simple act of being in the now means while driving this car, I'm actually feeling the steering wheel. I'm aligned with my car. I'm feeling the steering wheel. I'm understanding if there's something off about the way she's driving. I could tell she needs a very good cleaning, not just by the looks of her, but also I'm smelling and being very aware of the surroundings, of which is just another being or another aspect of energy in my energy field. And so when you're aligned, you're also aligned with everything in your energy force and in your energy field. Therefore, you don't go through your life like a tornado. You actually are gliding and moving with the tides and the seasons of your life gracefully, because you're aligned and you're not resisting. So you can't resist. When change wants to happen, it's going to happen. You can try to stop it, but you can't. So the best thing to do is to go with these natural changes that the universe has put into your life. And without making this any more confusing or difficult, I just want to bring you back and refocus to the idea of being aligned. Today, if you watch this video to the end, thank you. When you go to work or when you do whatever it is that you do, pay close attention to the feeling that you get inside. Is it a feeling of happiness? Is it a feeling of joy? Is it a feeling of dread? Is it resentment? Is it not wanting? Is it resistance? Is it willingness? Willingness. So I don't want to get into being to be willing and to be a volunteer of your own life today, but we will. We'll get into that. What is it like next when you are willing to be the volunteer of your own life? On the next episode with Keeping It Real with LD. Thanks for checking in, guys. Have a great day.